in episode 76, because I am sick with COVID, and welcome into the Bench is Clear podcast, where we cover the best rivalry in all of sports. I am Jesse Gutierrez, and I represent the side of the San Francisco Giants, who are still padding their lead in first place and won a 5-2 last week.
And I'm Tyler Coe, representing the Los Angeles Dodgers, who went 3-2. Also, did you say episode 76? Because that would have been better.
I said 76. I said because I am sick. That would have been better. But we don't do.
But you're doing all right because the vaccine works. All right. Go get vaccinated, you fucking idiots.
It's crazy how a vaccine actually works. It is insane. It's almost as if doctors and scientists spend hours and hours trying to figure this thing out, and somehow through some magic it works.
Yeah, good for them, because I'm not a scientist, nor are you, but we get to reap all the benefits.
Exactly. Yeah, so I do sound a little weird. I sounded weird the past 2 episodes. I am 100% fine. It's just a little, got to take some time off work, which is actually kind of nice. So, yeah, it's been okay for me. So don't cry, Tyler. I know you have a little bit, you're just holding back that tear, but it's okay. Papa's going to be okay. But more importantly, baseball continue to play. Chris Bryant is a great San Francisco Giant, and I just feel really bad because we talked about how much better Trey Turner is than Chris Bryant. But if you
he
look
hasn't
at the
even
stats,
played a fucking game
last week, Trey Turner hasn't even gotten a hit for the Giants. He hasn't made any outs.
For the Giants?
Ridiculous.
For the Giants?
But,
yeah, you're right.
No,
he hasn't had any hit for the Giants.
No, Trey Turner has not done anything for you guys. And
you said the Giants. God, the COVID brain thing is real. Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying that I feel bad for you. I'm really bummed that you guys gave up a bunch of valuable assets for a guy who hasn't even gotten a hit for you this past week. And it's sad. Things
are going to be turning around rather quickly, my guy. Trey Turner might be activated this weekend.
If I had $1 for every single time you said that, you've been saying it since April. This is just getting ridiculous.
Give the Dodgers 3 weeks. 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Give them to the end of the season.
First place, baby. They're coming to first.
Gosh. I think we need to talk about something going on a little bit around the league. Talking about first place. We were talking a little bit. The Philadelphia Phillies are a half game out of first place, you said?
Yeah.
It is insane. There's a lot of things going around how the Phillies actually have the easiest schedule coming in, the rest of the year, and the Mets have one of the hardest. I mean, they're going to be playing the Dodgers and the Giants back to back right after each other, and then they do that same exact thing back to back in I believe a week and a half, or next not this coming up week, but the week after, I believe. So that's going to be fun for them.
Yeah, the Mets are like the Padres of the East. I feel like there was all this hype, and I mean they've sustained first place for a while, but their winning percentage is what, like .530, maybe. They're not that good, and I don't know. I just don't like Mets fans. Never really have. Yeah, y'all are bitches. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I hate the Phillies too, and the Braves.
Right. You've talked about how your disdain for Philadelphia as well. You don't like the Braves. So basically, you just don't like anybody. I think we've kind of come to realize.
Pretty much hate everyone. 100%. Absolutely.
Yeah, but it is kind of funny how quick the tables turn. You have teams that were bowing out, obviously the Cubs and the Nationals, but I think that they were smart too, honestly. But a lot of people wrote off the Braves. They also wrote off the Phillies a little bit, and we're kind of giving that spot to the Mets. But now, I mean, it's anyone's game. I mean, 2 games out for the Braves. I mean, they didn't do enough to help that rotation, in my opinion. But I mean, they added a bunch of outfielders, which is kind of weird. But hey, I mean, the East is going to come down to the wire, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, fun to see that, if Fernando Tatis doesn't come back, Bryce Harper is going to be the MVP if he keeps this up, or maybe my guy AJ Pollock. I don't know, which we'll talk about later.
Right.
No, 100% no. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, it's at least going to be exciting because for a while it looked like the NL East, I mean, was going to be a laugher. It was like 3 out of the 5 or 4 out of the 5 were at 500 or below. So it at least makes things competitive, which is good for everyone, unless you're a Mets fan.
Right. Unless you're a fan in that NL East, then you're a little worried. I mean, I think you could breathe. I think you feel a lot better if you're a Phillies fan versus a Mets fan right now, especially because
100%.
you don't know when DeGrom is actually coming back.
Which also opens the door for my boy Walker Buehler winning that Cy Young.
Yeah, Kevin Gausman. That's cool. Yeah, I think we should branch into our teams now with a quick play us say what, which we haven't done in a couple weeks, and we actually don't have a clip for you, but it is being said going around the internet that Chris Bryant called San Francisco San Fran, and people are upset. Just stop crying. I don't know. I think it's a lot easier for me, obviously, because I don't live in San Francisco. I get it. But at the same time, it's like, why get upset about that sort of thing? Like, just stop. Stop, please.
San Fran Giant fans are just little babies. Like, the city of San Fran isn't that great anyways, so let's relax. Number 2, I really think this is going to get inside everyone's head, and here's what I'm saying. You guys are going to hear this first. This is going to be breaking shit. The San Fran Giants are now going to lose 10 of their next 13. 10 of their next 13. That's what I'm saying. The Los Angeles Dodgers are going to win 11 of their next 13. First place is coming very soon.
Do you realize who they're playing the next 3 series?
Yes.
Who?
The Dodgers?
No, the Giants. You're saying that we're going to lose 10 out of 13. So
they're playing the Brewers. They're playing the Brewers.
Correct.
I believe they're playing the Diamondbacks again.
Correct. 2-game series.
Diamondbacks are going to be hot. They're going to come in hot. They just DFA'd Josh Reddick, that piece of shit loser, and now they dropped all that dead weight. They're coming in hot. And then I don't know after that because I don't care about the
Colorado Rockies. So just shut up.
They're poised to make a late season push for that wild card. The Colorado Rockies are going to be coming in hot.
John Gray and Trevor Story are just going to catch on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh. So that just goes
dark
to
horse MVP Raimel Tapia is going to hit like 5 home runs. It's going to be sick.
Yeah, and the San Fran thing, just to put it to bed, there's people that are just kind of making jokes about it, and it is what it is. But there's some people who get really annoyed by it. If it bugs you that much, just stop. Just stop. You want to get mad about it, with your friends at work, sure, but don't be messaging Chris Bryant and saying this and this and getting crazy. So calm the tits. It's gonna be okay. Giants are the first team to 69 wins. Nice. And life is good. Got to work hard for it. We had to work hard for that 69. So it was.
They won't be the first team to 90.
It was a lot of convincing, a lot of just persistence and sticking through. But we got that 69. What's good? That's probably the most important milestone throughout this season.
Right. So after the season's over, it'll be wild card game losers, first to 69 wins. Those will be the two
teams represented by this podcast. Yes, the team that lost the wild card game and the first team that won 69 wins. Yeah, I agree. The real question is who's going to play the Dodgers in the wild card game? Is it going to be the Padres, or if Fernando Tatis is out, is it actually going to be like the Cincinnati Reds?
Well, first of all,
that's a head scratcher.
I don't like that you said who's going to play the Dodgers. Who's going to play the Giants in the wild card game? I don't know. I think Cincinnati could make a push.
Right.
Let's talk about Fernando Tatis for a second. The Padres training staff or the front office or whoever has the biggest influence on how their players rehab and come back from injuries need to be fired. They're the worst in baseball.
They're worse than the Yankees. Yeah.
Yeah. You have two like perennial generation talents. Dinelson Lamet was supposed to be like the next big thing. He's ruined. And now Fernando Tatis, dude, what is this? The third time his shoulders come out this year?
Right.
Like, and just even saying season-ending surgery is on the table, that should be enough to just go ahead and do it. This man is signed for 13 more goddamn years.
Right.
If you were smart, you would just say, you know what? This year's a loss. We still might lock up the wild card game and might get into the NLDS or whatever, but we're gonna have to go it without Fernando Tatis, and that's just the way things are.
Right.
Dude, like look at the Rays. You think they're stoked that Tyler Glasnow is going to be out for all next year and the half of this year? No, but you need to get it done. It just is what it is.
Right.
It's infuriating, dude. I don't know how these people still have a fucking job.
And Dinelson Lamet is actually coming back, and it is believed that he's just going to be out of the bullpen. He's not even going to stretch out to start.
But that's the thing, dude. This is what going to be his third or fourth time coming off the DL this year, and every time he does,
same issue.
They start. Right. He's a starter, but he only throws 2, 3, 4 innings max. How long can you do that with someone before you just throw him away because he's done? Because you ruined him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, good for the Dodgers and Giants, I suppose, but it's just shitty.
Yeah. Not everyone can be Dave Greshner, so yeah, I get it. It's not easy being cheesy. Yeah, I think that the Padres are not exactly as scary anymore. I don't really fear going in and playing them. Their lineup is still really good, but Snell has been not very good all year. Yu Darvish is starting to dip. That bullpen is okay. It's solid, but it's nothing to scream about. But that lineup is still really deep, even without Tatis. So
yeah, and then you have someone like Will Myers who can't even catch a goddamn fly ball, and then doesn't know where to throw the ball to lose the game. I love it.
Yeah, finally, Mark Melancon finds a way to help the Giants. It took a couple of years off, but yeah, very, very, very happy with him there. Let's talk about some baseball on the teams that we like to talk about, the teams that we watch very closely. And I'm going to go first because the Giants went 5-2, and they're the best team in baseball, and they're the best record in baseball. It's what everyone came to see, get the people what they want. Giants took 2 out of 3 from the Astros. A lot of Astros fans and writers got really loud during their first win because, Jose Altuve had a home run. The Giants Twitter, made a joke because during Altuve's first at bat, when he struck out, he threw his bat down and said, "Hit your bat twice on the ground for off speed." Ha ha ha! Little jab at him. And the next at bat, when they're chanting "Altuve sucks," he hits a huge bomb to put him ahead. So they were really loud. Then all of a sudden they got really quiet when they got their ass kicked for the next 2 games. They're supposed to be the best team in the American League. I didn't see it. Their bullpen was not scary at all. We freaking pecker slapped their bullpen a lot. Their rookie is pretty good. It's really nice to see that they took it to Zach Greinke a bit. But I don't know. Yeah, fuck the Astros. Nice to take 2 out of 3 and show that the National League is above the American League. Then the Giants went to Arizona, took 3 out of 4 from the Diamondbacks. It did not look that way going into the 9th inning today. But gosh, it is what it is. Lamont Wade just coming through. Chris Bryant, that guy, I think it was a small little pick. I'm not sure if you know who he is. Chris Bryant. He actually played on the team in Chicago. I think the Cubs.
Yeah, but now he plays for the San Fran Giants.
And he's putting together a nice little catalog. One little thing that he did say in his interviews. First of all, we didn't mention this first home run in his first game played. Nice. But one thing that he said in one of his interviews, he talked about how he was talking to his wife and how he always imagined that he was going to be at the Giants at some point of his career. He was like, I wasn't sure if it was going to be, free agency or whatever, but it's crazy that it's, this way, leading me to believe that he wants to stay out here. He likes it, and I think especially since the stuff that Jed Hoyer said about all the guys that he traded, about how they weren't willing to get extended, and if they wanted to be a Cub, they would be a Cub, but they're not. Really weird things to say after those guys gave you so much, and you don't extend them. But after those comments, and it just feels like that book is now closed for Chicago. Basically what I'm saying, it's a long-winded way of saying Chris Bryant is going to be a Giant for the next at least 5 or 6 years. So let's soak it up. Let's enjoy it now, baby.
Neat. Literally don't care.
I do care.
Yeah, I bet. I'm still holding out hope that the Giants go after Carlos Correa, because I would love to see him for the next.
So.
I don't think it's going to happen anymore,
which
is upsetting. It's very upsetting.
I don't think so, because position flexibility is huge with Bryant. He did play one game in center field, which is today. Didn't get a lot of looks out there, so you can't really tell if he's a good center fielder or not from the eye test. So we shall see. But there is going to be a lot of roster crunches, which is really concerning, because Longo, Disco, and Gausman have to come back within this week. And who the fuck are you going to send down? I don't know what's going to happen. I would imagine the guys who have options are going to go. Dickerson was rumored to be one of those guys that might be option. He has one option left. But after his huge series against the Diamondbacks, it's really hard to. So, I mean, I would imagine to have to be, Estrada and maybe even Austin Slater. I don't know. I'm glad that I'm not, going to be making those decisions that I'm not far on, because I don't know what the fuck I would do, especially since all those guys are contributing. So what can you do?
I don't know. I don't know. And I literally don't
know.
I don't care.
You should care. You should, because you got to come to us to get the NL West.
What I do care about is the goddamn Arizona Diamondbacks suck shit.
They do suck shit.
I don't know. The Dodgers, again, extend their historically laughable 1-11 in extra inning games. The first game of the Diamondback series, they lose 6-5 in the 10th inning. They don't even, if I remember correctly, didn't even move the free runner over, which is embarrassing. Lose 6-5. And of course they lost, because that night the Giants won. Because the Dodgers, I don't know what kind of curse is going on. They can never gain a game. Ever. And then the Giants had 2 games to make up. 2 games less than the Dodgers played, and they win both of those. So now they've made up a whole game without the Dodgers having to do anything, which is awful. Dodgers do win the series in Arizona.
I said 3 games. It was 4 games. So just so we're clear, I don't want to be misspeak on this podcast, even though I just stuttered like an idiot.
COVID brain strikes again. Yeah, I mean the only good thing I can say about, we won the series in Arizona, which you have to. That's expected. But they score 8 runs on Saturday, which typically this season, when they score a decent amount of runs, because the offense is feast or famine, the next day is horrible. And then Sunday they come out and score 13 runs, win 13-0, which was awesome, because we had an off day Monday, so we didn't have to worry about them coming out on Monday and putting up a fucking goose egg and losing the game. So you win the series, great. And then what everyone's been waiting for all goddamn season, Dodgers and Astros. I think it was everything everyone wanted, honestly. I mean, I was there Wednesday night, Max Scherzer's debut. It is maybe the most fun I've ever had at a baseball game. The craziest environment. I know I was telling you before we started recording, it trumps all the Barry Bonds era Giant games, sitting in the bleachers and him just getting booed. That doesn't even compare to what I saw Jose Altuve get and Carlos Correa get yesterday or Wednesday. And that was just incredible.
Yeah. Was that a year of pent up aggression?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Tuesday, the Dodgers come out and lay a goose egg. They don't look good, which makes you kind of nervous. Because these games, even though they all count the same, this series obviously meant more to everyone, to the fans, to the players. So seeing them put up the goose egg, that was a little nerve-wracking. And the thing is, Buehler pitched really well, which is good. He keeps going. He keeps shoving. Bullpen gives up the big home run. Victor Gonzalez gives it up. But the offense, like we were talking about, feast or famine. So then we come out Wednesday, Scherzer. So while I was there, watching Scherzer get that first strikeout against Altuve, that might be the biggest Dodger debut, like first batter ever in the history of Dodgers. Him coming in facing Altuve and striking Altuve, his first batter, was great. Then he gives up the home run, and you're kind of like, God damn it. But then Mookie leads off the game with a home run. Later in the first, Will Smith hits the 3-run home run. Now we're up 4-1. And, dude, it was just crazy. Just really watching Max Scherzer and thinking, like, Max Scherzer is on the Dodgers.
Right.
And he was shoving, and he looked great. The Dodgers, the offense was there. Dude, Mookie Betts, AJ Pollock, they're on a tear right now. Cody Bellinger even hit a double, and he made solid contact, which, I mean, you're bound to make solid contact at some point. So hopefully, he figures his shit out. But overall, pretty good win. Jose Altuve, 4 strikeouts. Like, you couldn't have wrote that any better.
No, and I think it was definitely a must win for you guys too, because after losing, game 1, especially Lance McCullers, it was like, damn, dude, this is supposed to be your time. Like, you're if you get swept at home against the Astros, like, fuck, dude, like, you got to crawl into a corner. I mean, there's nothing you can say to that.
Well, so I don't know. There's a couple things I want to speak on. One, again, Jose Altuve strikes out 3 times against Scherzer. Joe Kelly comes in, punches him out. 4 strikeouts on the night. That's great. Joe Kelly almost strikes out the side in order and gives up the home run to Carlos Correa. However, let's not forget, earlier in that at bat, there should have been a fan interference call. I mean, maybe not a call, but a fan definitely interfered with Bellinger down the right field line, a ball he could have caught.
But it was over the fence. So if it's over the fence, it's not.
I understand. But what I'm saying is Bellinger could have caught that ball, and then we don't have to hear about Carlos Correa's sociopath ass, hitting home run. But even though Carlos Correa does hit the home run, so what? Right. Like, yeah, that is a story because of Kelly and their history, but you're still losing.
Yeah, by 4 runs.
Yeah, right.
Not even like it doesn't even like get you like close. You're still down by a lot.
Right. So Joe Kelly, he looked good. He looked good yesterday, and I was hoping he would just hit Correa just for the shits and gigs, but I know that would be a lengthy suspension, so I knew it wouldn't happen. Kenley, Jesus Christ, dude, when he came in, once it went from a 5-run lead to a 4-run lead, there is no fucking way he should be in the game at that point. And then when he gives up the bomb, it just, dude, the tension last night was insane. I think Corey Knebel, he'll be coming back in a couple weeks. Dude, Trinan has to be your guy. Knebel can kind of bridge it, and Jansen slots in somewhere, but I don't think he's the closer. I don't think there's any way to defend that anymore. Last thing about the Astros series.
Like he lost a spot. I mean, I think this is the second time where he hasn't came into a save situation, right?
Yeah.
So it seems like he has lost his job.
And here's the thing is I knew Dave Roberts would put him in there just because he was one of the guys in 2017. You have a 4-run lead. I think you let him go out there and, do his thing. But I didn't envision it going that bad. And because it has, I think he loses his job. Last thing about Kenley, over his last 5 appearances, here are his stats. 5 innings pitched, 13 hits, 10 earned runs, 9 walks, 10 strikeouts for an 18 ERA. Comparatively speaking, let's look at Blake Trinan's last 7 games, most of which have been high leverage situations. ERA 0, WHIP 0.57.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm not a scientist, but I think that might be a little bit better.
It's just a little bit better. So again, Corey Knebel coming back. Let's just see how things pan out. But 4 games is a lot to make up. It's crazy because 4 games, I mean, you could be dead even in 4 games. However, that rarely happens. And I mean, 4 games is a lot to make up in the last 2 months of the season. So let the race begin. But I'm not worried about it. Not in the slightest. The boys got
it's
this.
A whole lot. It's doubtful, but I'm not worried about it. It's fine.
Yeah. Speaking of Kenley, I'm going to jump into my stud and dud of the week.
Boom.
I got 2 studs because how could I not?
Okay.
Mookie Betts and AJ Pollock, both in their last 7 games hitting over 500. Mookie Betts has an OPS of something like 1,800 almost. I mean, come on. Mookie Betts, 5 home runs in his last 7 games. 2 home run game last night against the Astros. AJ Pollock continuing to kill the ball. Guys hitting over 300 now. The dude is mashing. And once our boy Trey Turner comes, it's game over for everyone else.
He hasn't had any hits this week, man. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why you think he's going to do any better, but
yeah, whatever.
Literally done nothing.
For dad of the week, I can't keep picking on Cody Bellinger. I feel like you can only beat a dead horse so much. So I'm going to give it to Kenley for reasons I just previously explained a minute ago. That's all that needs to be said. But Cody Bellinger also needs to pick his shit up, like I've said for the past 4 weeks. Just do something.
Anything. Give me something.
Yeah, that's it.
That's cool. Well, that's pretty sad. That's your MVP guy, and he sucks. That is tight. That is neat. Let's talk about some guys who are doing really good. Over on the Giants side of a stud and dud of the week, we're gonna go to one. Donnie Barrels, Donnie Baseball. My man's hitting 429 with a 750 slugging percentage. Making up for almost a 1.2 OPS. Has a couple of bombs. It's not really in his repertoire, so anytime he can do that, it's you gotta love it. Dickerson is another runner-up. I almost gave it to him, and then I forgot to look at Donnie's stats. So, and that brings me back to where I was talking about with this rotation. I mean, this roster crunch. It's just everyone's producing now. I think Dickerson was the easy choice, when Lucella was coming back, and it's like, what the fuck do you do? Especially now, with everyone, producing, and Estrada looks to be maybe the weakest link, but he's the guy who backs up Crawford at shortstop. I mean, I guess you can have Barrels over there, but have like just a hope no one really hits it over there. That's the only thing I can say. And another thing about this, I'm gonna go to my dud. Unfortunately, the reason I did him last is because I think we need to talk about this a little bit more. Unfortunately, my dud is going to be Anthony DeScalfani, Disco. And you might be saying to yourself, but Jesse, he only pitched 1 game. How can you give him dud of the week? And that is fair. But at the same time, if you go back to his last 2 starts, you got 2 2/3 innings, 4 earned runs. And then his last start was in the 5th inning, 4.1 innings, and 4 earned runs against probably one of the worst teams in baseball. I know he's had his problems against the Dodgers. That's the last person he faced. But man, it just seems like this rotation is really starting to leak oil. And when you don't pick someone up at the trade deadline, it's a little head scratching. Unless you really believe in Aaron Sanchez, which his times out of the bullpen, I think gave 3 innings, to pick up Disco's turn in the rotation when he got taken out. So I think he ended up pitching like 3 innings, and he looked good. But I gotta say I'm a little worried. They're giving Disco basically just one time off the rotation to give him his arm a little bit of rest. So I'm hoping that is that even a word? How am I not even saying that right? Rejuvenates. There we go. Rejuvenates him into being the guy he was at the beginning of the year. I know it's ups and downs. It's a long season, 162 games, 30 starts for a starter. So just hoping he really picks it up. That's something that could be, really damaging going into these last 2 months if your rotation is really starting to leak oil. And then Gausman did look a lot better, but still against the Diamondbacks, so I will be holding my breath the next time he starts. Well, I guess it would be against the Diamondbacks, so maybe in 2 starts. So it's good to have him build his confidence with the shitty teams, which he's starting to do. And then, we're going to need him down the stretch to get that Cy Young, because fuck Walker Buehler, and lead this team to a deep postseason run, baby.
Doubt it. Upcoming week for the Dodgers, we have a 3-way series against the Angels, which this year is actually interesting. They always try to hype up the freeway series as if it means anything, and it doesn't. But seeing Shohei Ohtani is going to be pretty neat. He isn't going to be starting. He just started a night or 2 ago, so don't get to see him pitch. Which for the Dodgers, that's great.
That's nice.
Still have to see him hit, which isn't great. But it'll be a fun show for the Dodgers. You got David Price is making a start. Because it looks like Clayton Kershaw and Tony Gonsolin are in idle mode. Dave Roberts was quoted as saying. So I don't know what that means. It looks like their rehab has gone stagnant. Kershaw was slated to come back this weekend. So I don't know if because Scherzer, maybe they're giving, which we haven't even talked about yet.
We haven't even talked about.
We'll talk about in a second because I have a couple things to say. So, anyways, Dodgers, you're gonna see Urias, Buehler, and Price 3 games against the Angels, and then Monday off. Then we're going on the road to Philly, which, as we said before, Philly's on a tear right now. So, as always, need to win both series. Probably a little bit more if we want to gain some ground, but we'll hopefully we take 4 out of 6 this week.
4 out of 6, huh? Wow. Well, the Giants do have an off day going into this week, and if we continue bringing you episodes on Friday instead of Thursday, we're going to go 3 in Milwaukee, 2 at home versus the Diamondbacks, and then we start a series at home against Colorado, so it'll just be 1 game. So I'm sure we're going to cover that more on the next episode, so I will definitely just count Milwaukee, 3 at Milwaukee, 2 at home against Diamondbacks. Man, this one's going to be rough. I would love to say that we go 4-1, but I think a 3-2 would be successful. Because they are going to be they do get Burns and Woodruff. So missing Peralta, which is nice, going to be facing Anderson, but I believe the Woodruff game is going to be the bullpen / Aaron Sanchez game. So game 1 is going to be really telling. It's going to be, Big Weber Kettle versus Burns. Webb has honestly probably been our best starter this past month, and he's been absolutely destroying. So fucking love that guy. I'm really excited to see him pitch, and I think he can keep us in the game to win. So a long-winded version of saying I think it's possible that we go 2-3 versus Milwaukee and then sweep at home. So I'm gonna go 4-1. That's what's gonna happen against the Giants, and it's gonna be great. Chris Bryant's gonna hit 2 more home runs next week. You heard it here first.
Yeah, I doubt it. Let's talk about the Cole Hamels thing real quick before we end this.
Yeah, because if it was 2013, I'd be shaking in my space boots.
Yeah, here's the thing. Dude, every trade deadline for, 4 years, we had to hear the Dodgers are interested in Cole Hamels. And the price is always too steep. I mean, they wanted Jock Peterson, Corey Seager, Julio Urias. I mean, that's way too steep. So
That would have been
Kudos
nice.
to Andrew Friedman for never making that move. If Clayton Kershaw really is that far away, then I get it. But you have to remember, I mean, dude, we have Danny Duffy, which I'm assuming he's going to be going into the bullpen when he comes back. But Cole Hamels, dude, he has to be built up as well. He is in Arizona right now getting built up. So if we're not seeing him for a couple weeks, I mean, Jesus, like we might only have him for, if he ends up starting, 4 starts.
Right.
And I mean, if we're just hoping that he can eat some innings, I would hope with 4 starts, we're hoping that he can win at least 2 games and not just eat innings. He's going to have to win some games. So
right.
I get it. I was very upset about it yesterday. I didn't think it made sense. But now knowing that Kershaw may be further away than we once thought, sure, whatever. It brings up so much, when Ned Colletti fucking got Jason Schmidt in 2007 and he just never pitched because he was hurt. And then he comes back in 2009 with like an 88-mile-an-hour fastball and is just getting fucking rocked. That's what I'm envisioning happening. Although I think Cole Hamels, they said at his tryout was hitting like low 90s, like 90 to 92, which still isn't very much of anything in the big leagues.
Aaron Sanchez was hitting like 97 in his tryout and is now hitting 90 in his starts. So, JS.
So, I don't know. We'll see. If he can help us get a couple wins, sure, whatever. But as you can see, we waited the whole episode to bring it up because I didn't even really think about it. There's been way more important shit on my mind.
You've been so excited about it. I think that also talks about how, I don't want to say unimportant because eating innings is an important thing. I mean, I think Cole Hamels can give you quality innings. I don't think he's going to be nearly as valuable as, I'm trying to think of, obviously not Scherzer or Bueller, but even Urias. I think he's got to be. It would even be a toss-up who's going to be more, who can give you better innings, Danny Duffy or Cole Hamels. And my first suggestion would be do the piggyback game, but they're both left-handers. So the idea of a piggyback is you get a lefty-righty to try to help out your second guy at least a little bit. So I don't know. Yeah, I hope the next time the Dodgers play the Giants that they see Cole Hamels. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, the only saving grace about it is that him, Duffy, and Price are all lefties. So we're gonna have some lefties in the bullpen at least,
right,
because only one of those guys is going to be in the rotation. So it looks like Price and Duffy will at least be lefties out of the bullpen because Victor Gonzalez doesn't have it right now. He hasn't looked like him. Like his 2020 self all year. Scott Alexander's hurt. So it's going to be interesting. The Dodgers, if this was 2009 with Albert Pujols and Scherzer and, Cole Hamels, this would be like all time.
And Kershaw, right.
And Kershaw, yeah. So, yeah, I don't hate it as much as I thought I would. Is all is how I'm gonna end this.
It could be a lot worse. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's crazy where we're at, but I'm glad that we're here, man. This is great. We were hoping that the Giants were in the talks of the second wild card, and we can maybe be excited on both sides. But this is the first year. We've only been doing this podcast. This is the 3rd year. By the way, you didn't get me anything for this. We did actually the emergency episode was the actual anniversary of our podcast, second, and you didn't get me anything, so I was a little upset and hurt. So I didn't get you. I didn't even show you your gift because you didn't say anything and you hurt my feelings. But
maybe you should pay me that Chipotle you owe me.
I've been trying to pay you that Chipotle, and you're I don't. I'm trying to watch my figure. So that's actually your fault for trying to be a healthy person. So fuck you for that too. But yes, it's really nice that we're like excited on both sides and we're not just talking about, the Dodgers postseason roster. I'm like, Joey Bart had a really good day in Double-A. It's nice that we're at where we're at, especially because the Giants are 4 games in first place.
High A now.
Oh,
He's the
gosh,
best shortstop that ever lived. He's
he
in
is,
high
dude.
A.
I'm telling you.
Oh my
gosh. I was watching a low A game the other day, and it was like bases loaded. I mean, not bases loaded. Sorry, they walked him to get bases loaded, but the way they pitched around him and how mad he was when they walked him, oh, I freaking loved
saw
it.
that.
It was like
I saw
Barry
that.
Bonds-esque, kind of like, come on, dude, pitch me the fucking ball. I loved it.
Yeah,
And
in low A. So who cares?
in low A. Yeah, and he's
A.
also 19 years old. So he's in high, probably the youngest guy there. So that's really tight. So you can go fuck yourself for that one.
Yeah. Well, that pretty much wraps it up for us here at the Benches Cleared podcast. This episode was brought to you by Renovation Candle Company, where fall candles are being released in exactly 2 weeks, August 20th. Mark your calendars. They got pumpkin spice. They have pumpkin chai, pumpkin cream cold brew. They got all the pumpkin shit and so much more. Make sure you check it out.
Get your white girl on at Renovation Candle Company. Don't know the promo codes, because is there any promo codes?
No,
fuck a promo code.
Fuck you pay full price.
Because they're worth it. Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to be subscribed to us on your favorite podcasting platform as well as YouTube. Like those videos, help us grow. Write a review to help us grow. Make sure to be following us on Twitter. It's lit over there right now. Benches Cleared P, Instagram Benches Cleared Podcast, and as always, TikTok Benches Cleared. Thank you so much, and we will see you. And we're gonna go Friday next week too, right?
Yeah,
Tyler. Yeah, then we'll see you on Friday next week.